Hello everybody, my name is Zach, I also go by the Weather Gamer. This is WWC. Each week I plan to do a breakdown of the best match in the league for the week. Just go over it, talk about it, discuss some really interesting parts of it. This week, week one, I had two matches. I couldn't decide which one, so I just decided I was going to pick both of them. The first match I'm going to talk about here is the Copenhagen Cacturns, coached by Matthias BBH, versus the Chicago Quanters, coached by Little Penguin. So right off the bat, just looking at the teams as we've got them sitting here, Matthias brought Victini, Mamoswine, Galvantula, Mega, Kangaskong, Togekiss, and Gorbis. Penguins got Rotom Heat, Aerodactyl, Aggron, Aromatisse, Latias, and Walrein. So looking right off the bat, Mega Aggron puts in work. Steel typing with Iron Head and other steel stab moves. It can take care of Togekiss. Rock can take care of Galvantula. It can take care of Mamo. Probably won't kill. Depends on the speed, if it can outspeed or if it's going to take an Earthquake to the face and die. Not going to do much against Victini though. Aerodactyl with Rock Flying, definitely going to put some pressure on the Togekiss, the Galvantula, and the Mamoswine. Rotom Heat should handle Gorbis pretty well. Defog, so it should stop webs from being set up if Defog was brought and if Matthias brought webs. Togekiss could para-flinch his team to shreds if it wants to. All in all, this is a very interesting combination. Matthias is one of the better teams in my mind in the league when I look at it. Just overall how it's built, it's very well built, looks very nice. Good speed tier coverage, good type coverage in general. It's a really well built team. Penguin has a very interesting team. He didn't bring Bisharp this week, which Bisharp might have put in work, might not have. It depends on what he does going on. It could have been interesting to see Bisharp in this, especially if Galvantula does bring webs and sets webs up. A +2/+2. Bisharp would run Matthias' team pretty well. Also, I'm hoping the music's not too loud. This is the first video going up with music. I will be checking it after I upload it. I'll go back and rewatch the video, see how it's doing with the music. I'm trying to incorporate some music because I know the last video didn't have music, and that can be really boring not to have that in the background and just constantly having to listen to everything. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with this matchup. So immediate leads, Matthias bringing out Gorbis. I'm wondering why Gorbis was the lead here. My guess was in case it was Rotom Heat, he could fire off a Scald, or potentially if Penguin has a bad matchup. I don't know the items or anything on these Mons. I can only take guesses. I would just have to ask the coaches what they were doing for items and all that. As it turns out, it looks like I thought maybe this might be a Shell Smash opportunity for Shell Smash Sweep. Overall, not a terrible matchup. Scald or any sort of water move is really going to hurt Rotom here, but Rotom can easily Volt Switch out and get some momentum for Penguin. So playing out, so Scald does come out. It does about 80%, huge damage, but Volt Switch ends up killing Gorbis. So here comes the Walrein. Walrein against the Galvantula. I did not expect to be a good matchup for Penguin here. The Penguin reveals that he's got Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb was very big here because it's going to put huge amount of damage onto Galvantula. Plus, putting up rocks, or putting up webs on Galvantula's part, it's slowing his team down. Granted, he's got 3 immunities to it in Arrow, Latios, and Heatran, or not Heatran, Rotom Heat. Sorry about that. I just got done streaming, so my brain's a little fried. I apologize. I'm gonna not do these videos the same day I stream anymore. It just so happened that today it worked out. Well, my plan is to get these videos up sooner. So having Rock Tomb to slow Matthias down was a very good play by Penguin. I really liked having that on the set. It was very, very well thought out in my mind, just in case webs were to come. So then Thunderbolt didn't do a lot, about what I expected. Another Rock Tomb didn't kill. I think that was a low roll, unfortunately, so we had to do it again. Then Victini comes in. There is no switch in on Penguin's team for Victini. He had no ground type this week. They're just Victini basically got to come in and kill something every time. My thought, just seeing the Bolt Strike, was maybe this was Scarf. No, not Scarftini. You wouldn't need Scarftini. I thought maybe this might be Banded Victini. Maybe Life Orb Victini. I didn't see a recoil from a Life Orb, so it started to make me lead that this might be a Banded Victini. And you kind of get confirmation right there. The immediate switch not necessarily indicates that it was banded, just gives potential that it is a choice locked Victini. The other thought is maybe just bringing Togekiss in to absorb a Dragon move, prevent damage on Victini. That's the other option here that I saw that you could think about potentially here. But in my mind, Victini's got to be banded. So he Calm Minds with Latias and then Thunderbolts. That was a smart play in my idea. Baton Pass was a curious case for me. I don't understand why Matthias was running Baton Pass unless he was trying to pass stats. And I don't know, I will definitely be checking in with coaches before I do this video. I just wanted to get this one done. So my thought is he probably was going to set up with the Togekiss and then Baton Pass it either into Mega Kangaskhan or Victini. The switch, I'm not sure. I don't know what Little Penguin had on his Latias, but that switch, he could have gone +2/+2. If he had something other than Thunderbolt and a Dragon move, that could have hit the Piloswine. It might have been better to stay in with that. Granted, Piloswine can have Ice Shard, which two of those I still don't think even a bulky Latias can live. So now we got Mamoswine up against Aggron. A very interesting matchup. Aggron should have the lead on this, and it does. Aggron comes in and Fire Punches, trying to get rid of the Mamo. Here's something I forgot happened with Mega Kangaskhan. So not only does Mega Kangaskhan's ability allow it to basically attack twice. The first attack hits, the second attack does 25% damage. Power-Up Punch. I forgot Power-Up Punch was a move that Kangaskhan could learn, so it's a fast way to get a +2 Kangaskhan. That's actually really scary to think about. And the play for Colossus, the Aggron, to hold a Rocky Helmet was actually very smart on Penguin's part. I don't think Matthias was expecting that, and that ended up actually doing some serious chip damage to the Kangaskhan. And even though it's at +2 now, if it goes for another Power-Up Punch to try and get to +4 against Colossus, it's going to take double Rocky Helmet again, and anything that has priority will instantly kill it. It'll be that low. So it was a good play to bring the Rocky Helmet to prevent Kangaskhan sweep. I really like that play by Penguin. Heavy Slam, outspeed, kill. Good play. Again, Victini comes in and nothing can take a hit from Victini. V-Create just finishes off Aggron. In comes Jet. And right there, that switch right there told me, yes, this is a banded Victini. There's no reason he would have played around if this wasn't banded. Because a bolt, if it wasn't banded, he could bolt strike and take out Jet easily. The fact that he didn't stay in and bolt strike, this has to be banded Victini. So now you know it's a banded Victini. Nothing's going to take the hit, unfortunately. Penguin's kind of in a bind right now. He does not really have a check for Victini. Penguin does have Crocodile on his roster. Crocodile might have been the better play to bring this week over probably Aromatisse, in my mind. Just looking at it, Aromatisse wasn't bad, but so far just looking, Crocodile might have been the better play, just so he had something that could take potentially a Bolt Strike or the V-Create. Maybe could take the V-Create. So Arrow versus Starlight, this is a terrible matchup for Matthias because a rock move will hurt. Granted, the Earthquake was what was fired. That was another thing, too. I know that Penguin thought maybe if Victini stays in, he can get an Earthquake and kill it that way. Honestly, I think that was a misplay by Penguin, and I got no issue with it, Penguin. You did what you thought was the right play. Just for future as you're learning. Either Crunch, because it's a Psychic type, and you have the ability Tough Claws, so you're going to do extra damage, or carrying a Rock Stab move, like Stone Edge or Rock Slide or something on Jet would have been better, because had you... well, you were carrying Crunch. Going for one of those two moves on Victini instead of the Switch would have been better, because they're both super effective hits on Victini. If you were worried about, or you weren't worried about the ban because you stayed in. So definitely going for one of those two over Earthquake while you still had Togekiss was the better play. I know you're new to this, so just take it as a learning experience in my mind, and that's how you move on. Because Rock Slide on the Switch instead of the Earthquake, Starlight probably wouldn't have lived two of those, plus you outspeed it, and it wouldn't have been able to Baton Pass into Victini and allow Victini to get another reset to its Choice Band. So right there, that would have taken that out and put more pressure on Victini, because had you Rock Slided, now he knows he can't go back into Victini right away. The Crunch, he can't go right back into Victini. Baton Passing out was the easiest way to get Victini out, back in there for free. So Victini comes in, Bolt Strikes again, nothing's going to take a Choice Banded hit, knocks out. Victini swaps out. Here comes Starlight, expecting the Dragon move potentially. Instead you go for Thunderbolt, which was a good play. If you were carrying something besides Dragon Pulse, I'm assuming, in Thunderbolt, that could have hit Mamoswine harder. That's definitely where killing that Togekiss sooner would have been better, because now Laios can come in and pressure Mamo and hit Mamo instead of Victini coming in and hitting Arrow. And then once you get rid of Mamo and leave him with just Victini, he's very limited as to what he can do. He has to pick a move and hope it kills your entire team. So Ice Shard comes off. I knew Ice Shard was on this thing. Citrus Berry was good. I would recommend a Super Berry in the future, Penguin. Based on the fact that you took 92%, it didn't matter anyways, but the 50% berry would definitely be a good idea for you. Instead of a citrus, that way you could get more health back. But yeah, double Ice Shard basically just took down Latios. Mittens comes in, Ice Shard takes it to 2%. That was a very good roll for Penguin. My question for Penguin is, did you not have Overheat? Because Overheat probably would have KO'd versus the Shadow Ball, and so you wouldn't have taken 2 Ice Shards basically, because how this is going to play out is you're going to get Ice Sharded since you were so low. So definitely, if you had Overheat, that would have been the time to click it. If not, so be it. Sometimes it's just prepping. Overheat would have killed Manny. Yes, you would have lost your special attack, but with only Victini coming in, and I assume you were probably outspeeding Victini, you could have Volt switched out and picked up that -2 to get you back to neutral. Then Hula comes in. This thing's not taking a choice banded move from Victini. I doubt it had anything super effective for Victini, and basically that's the game. It lives one hit, but there's nothing else. So GG to Penguin, GG to Matthias. It was a very well played game, a very interesting game, and all in all, I'm not sure it was played perfectly on either side. I think some prep work on both of them could have made this so it wasn't so close. Matthias got very close to losing things, just based on switching. The webs was a very good play. Penguin with bringing the Rocky Helmet aggron, that really surprised me, and I gotta say that was a very, very good play on his part to deal with the Mega Kanga. So I'm going to switch over here real quick to our other match. I'm not going to have any cuts because I don't have editing software. Let me just change our logos here on our teams. So we've got, the next match is going to be SV Tornado, another one of my mods. Whoops, you are locked. Unlock you. Let's resize you versus Mama Niche and the West Texas Leafeons. Another one of my good friends that I met through a different server. And lock you, and we're going to edit you. I know I'm doing live edits. I just don't have video editing software. I haven't looked at it, haven't invested in it yet. So that's the next project. An SV Torn rocking the Dutch Pyroars. We're going to go ahead and blow this side back up to full screen. We're going to set these two so they're looking better. Alright, and lock them down. Alright, here we go, match 2 for the week. It was really a split decision between these two matches. We had one forfeit this week, so I couldn't use them. My match is already on YouTube from last weekend, and the other match had to get an extension, and I was not going to use theirs as the match of the week, no matter how good it was, because they took an extension. So, Torn brings Lycanroc Midday, Nidoqueen, Darmanitan, Hydreigon, Gardevoir, and Aegislash. Very, very, very scary team. Checks very well for the Mew, checks very well for a lot of Mama Niche's team. Mama Niche's team is hard to explain. I don't exactly know what Mama Niche's team is. I don't exactly know what she was trying to do with it. She has some very good Mons, and then at the same time she has some very questionable picks. For example, she has Mega Charizard Y and Araquanid. Why is she bringing Araquanid and Mega Charizard Y? Because Araquanid does not enjoy Fire-type moves, and its Scalds do not do, or Liquidations do not do as much in the Sun. Heliolisk, on the other hand, is a very good Mon in the Sun, so that made sense. All in all, Mama Niche's team confusing, but this match plays out interesting. As far as leads go, just looking at teams, obviously for Mama, best lead would probably be to get either Mew out for a U-turn, Heliolisk for a Volt Switch, or else getting the Sun up fast if she's trying to get the Sun up and get Heliolisk in to start hitting and punching holes. From Torn's perspective, if you wanted to abuse the potential Sun, Darmanitan would have been a good lead. Lycanroc would have been a very good lead overall, because it could do a ton of damage to Charizard with a rock move. It outspeeds her entire team, minus a Scarfer. Aegislash would also be another very good lead for Torn to play. So let's see how this one played out. So Aegislash does come out up against Mew. Now this is a very bad situation for Mama Niche to be in, unless her Mew is very specially bulky. Or not specially bulky, very specially attack invested, and has Shadow Ball or a Fire-type move to basically destroy this Aegislash. U-turn was a good play to get out of that situation. Going into Charizard was a very good play. Sub surprised me on this, but Charizard gets out, Mega Evolves, sets the Sun, can Fire Blast, and here's the thing, I didn't know that moves like Fire Blast and that could miss in their respective weathers, because I know Blizzard becomes 100% accurate in Hail, so I always assumed like Hydro Pump was 100% in Rain, and Fire Blast was 100% in Sun, and turns out I was wrong on that. Had Fire Blast connected here and killed the sub, it would have been very, very bad for Torn. He would have been on the back foot. Instead, he gets a Shadow Claw off, does big damage. The Fire Blast connects this time, breaks the sub, but I'm very sure the two Fire Blasts would have killed this thing instantly. So that hurt. Araquanid comes in, Shadow Claw does a decent chunk. Crunch. I did not know Araquanid gets Crunch. That surprised me. I thought Araquanid had no access to dark moves. The Crunch was a great play. The crit, in my mind, I think mattered. I'm not going to run calcs this week on this. I'm not very well prepared for this week's video. Going forward, I will be. Again, I'm new to this. I'm trying stuff out. I'm working on getting better. I definitely think that crit mattered. Lycanroc comes in. Excel Rock instantly threatens. Any rock move is going to threaten this Araquanid. Obviously, Mamanish stays in, which confused me. The Stone Edge hits and it kills. I'm a little surprised that Hariyama didn't come in instead. Had Hariyama come in on the Stone Edge, it wouldn't have taken so much damage. Araquanid would still be around for later to potentially deal with Nidoqueen. It could deal with Hydreigon, it could deal with Gardevoir. Basically, Araquanid put in a lot of work and dealt with the majority of Torrent's team. So letting that go down really surprised me. Wasn't the best move in my mind. A little early to sack this off, and it kind of gave Mama a little bit of an issue because she lost a major check to her team, to most of Torrent's team. So here comes the Hariyama. Obviously, a fighting type move was going to do major damage to Lycanroc. Bullet Punch was a good play in case he tried to Excel Rock, just to get chip damage to break a Scarf, knowing that he had nothing to switch in. Turns out Bullet Punch was very good play because Bullet Punch ended up punching Gardevoir, being a Steel type. It's weak, Fairy type. It's weak to Steel type moves. So that put a huge dent into Gardevoir immediately. In this situation, if it was me, Gardevoir checks out immediately. You switch into something that can take the Hariyama hit, which is not a lot on your team. Nidoqueen could probably take a hit. Darmanitan, depending on the build, could probably take a hit. But staying in on Gardevoir really surprised me. If he does, it doesn't make sense to me. So we go on again, and we see Flame Orb. Okay, so this has got to be a Guts Flame Orb Hariyama. It's going to hit harder now. Staying in with Gardevoir is basically killed. The priority Bullet Punch will destroy Gardevoir at this point, considering that an Unburned did 40%. There's no way 60% is enough to stay in here. So I think this was a misplay on Torrent's part to stay in here and let Gardevoir go down. Gardevoir still had some use. If it had Shadow Ball, it could take out Mew. If it had Psychic, it could take out Dragalge because it resists both its poison and its Dragon Stab. If it caught Hariyama on a switch, it could take down Hariyama. All in all, I think letting Gardevoir go down was a mistake. So both sides made mistakes, sacking off some pretty decent checks to the other's team early. Darmanitan comes in. I was thinking Earthquake. Turns out I was wrong. It's Zen Headbutt. Good prep on Torrent's team, Torn, for having that. I thought maybe he'd Earthquake, expecting something like Dragalge with Hydro Pump to come in. That would just have been an over prediction on my part. So Zen Headbutt, perfect play. Zen Headbutt actually also hits the Dragalge and would have killed the Dragalge. So that was a good play on his part. Now we see Dragalge come in. Zen Headbutt kills exactly as I thought it was going to. Apollo comes in, the Heliolisk Hyper Voice. Now, I don't know what the builds on these two are between the two mods. My only thought is that this has to be a specs Helioptile, because I'm not sure anything else could really do that amount of damage to a Darmanitan from full. Plus, what I see next leads me to believe, okay, it's got to be specs to do 36% to what in my mind is probably a mixed offensive defensive Nidoqueen. There's no way that it doesn't hit that hard. Mew comes in, revenges with Psychic. Unfortunately, Mew is the only thing left standing. I don't see how Mew beats Hydreigon unless it's carrying Ice Beam and Focus Blast, and I don't think it takes two Dark Pulses very well. And also, Lycanroc can carry Crunch, and it's not going to appreciate that either. Granted, Focus Blast would take care of that. Mama's in kind of a really bad position at this point. Torn's kind of got the control here. Torn comes in, U-turn does 50%, and unfortunately I was right. Dark Pulse was enough to take down that Mew. I don't think Focus Blast even hitting would have taken down Hydreigon. So Torn's going to win this one. All in all, watching this match, interesting decisions to stay in on a couple of things by both coaches. Interesting to see that we had Crunch on the Araquanid. That really surprised me to take down the Aegislash. That would have caught me off guard instantly. All in all, these two matches have been very good. Definitely see some experience by coaches. I know a lot of my coaches are new. I'm new to this too. I don't do a lot of competitive. I just got into competitive Pokemon about 4 months ago, so I'm still learning myself. All in all, this is good. The way these two matches have turned out, I'm looking forward to the rest of the WWC season. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how my games against these coaches go. Looking forward to playing all four coaches. And all in all, this to me was a good start to WWC. We'll see how it goes after this moving forward. I do plan to have a recap video of standings as well as the kill leaders and transactions from this past week. Unfortunately, week 1 will not finish on time. I had to give an extension to one coach just because of life. It got in the way. I understand that. That match should be played Tuesday. If it's not played Tuesday, the coach that asked for the extension understands that they will receive a forfeit loss to their team, and I will have that video up hopefully Tuesday night. If not Tuesday night, it'll go up Wednesday for sure. My match for week 2 will not go up on the channel until after that video hits the channel. I will be doing a team builder separate of the match itself. I'm facing Little Penguin this week. So all in all, WWC off to a good start for week 1, off to a great start for a season in my mind. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope the music wasn't too loud. I'll double check it here after this goes live because I don't really feel like recording this again. And if you want, I do stream. Link will be in the description. There is a Discord for myself. The WWC Discord's closed to public just to keep it clean, but my regular Discord that's like family, that link will be in the description down below as well. You're more than welcome to check them out and come say hi, come stop by. I appreciate it, and as always, I'll catch you guys later, and hope you guys have a great day and keep being amazing.